So if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you know that I like to throw a square bill crankbait. And the reason for that is it's a very effective bait. It catches fish in a number of conditions. And I really like how the fish eat this thing. They usually are very aggressive in how they eat it. So the bites are sometimes bone jarring. They're fun to get that kind of bite. It's a reaction strike in a lot of cases. And this and a lipless crankbait, I find you get some of the hardest hits on those kind of baits. That makes it fun. In the spring, I like to throw this around shallow rock. Riprap, shallow riprap. The fish like to come in there early in the spring because it's warming up first. They can get some crayfish, there's food there. But this time of year, late summer, early fall, I changed the way I fish the square bill. It's a great bait to fish now, too, this time of year, early fall. And what I like to do is find milfoil beds where I fish. That's the primary weeds where I fish. I like to find those milfoil beds and fish along the outside edge of them, or even in them. If they're submergent, they're not emerging on the surface of the water. If they're submergent, I'll fish over that milfoil as well, over the submergent milfoil and along the edge of milfoil. And the nice thing about a square bill is that it comes through that stuff surprisingly well. You can actually guide the bait through it. And one of the reasons for that is because when this bait is diving and it hits those weeds and you feel that and stop, when you stop, it actually backs up this way. It comes up to the surface, but it backs away. So it'll hit those weeds, back away from it, and then you can continue to go again. And that makes it a very effective presentation in the weeds. And that's how I've been fishing this in recent days. I've spent a lot of time on my home lake. The bite is on for this right now. It started with a lot of smaller fish. Now the bigger fish are moving into these weed edges. This thing is going to continue to play right through October, and it'll be a good bait to throw, and this thing can catch large bass. Now the bait I've been throwing is the Strike King. I think this is Strike King 2.5, and I think this is called Sexy Ghost Minnow. This color is an unusual color. It's got like a bronzish olive back, clearish sides with some green in it, and a little bit of a chartreuse stripe, and then the belly is silver. And you know, I think the reason why I like to throw this color, and in the video you see almost every bass I catch is on this particular bait. First of all, it's silent, so I like that. I like a silent bait in pressured water. My home lake is extremely pressured, so I like silent baits primarily for that. And the other thing that I like is that this color can imitate a bluegill when you're fishing it down along those weeds, or a shad, either one, an alewife, or a gizzard shad. So it kind of covers all my bases. And the fish seem to agree. The bites I've been getting have been hard, and usually they get it pretty good. Now there is one other square bill I've been throwing in a different situation. I liked it, and I don't have this on video, but I've caught quite a few bass on fallen wood. This is the Bill Lewis ATV. It's all-terrain crankbait, and it comes through wood like no other square bill. It's amazing. You have to try to hang this up. I mean, sometimes I've tried to hang it up and can't. I mean, I'm talking trees with branches like this, running it not down the length of them, but across them. And it still comes through that stuff. It's amazing how well this thing comes through wood like that. So when I'm fishing wood with the square bill, I switch over to the ATV. It just handles that much better. And I've caught a few that way too. And there's probably going to be a day where that becomes even more important between now and the end of fall. So I put together a little montage of some of the fish catches that I've made with this recently. And one thing I would encourage you to do if you want to learn more about fishing this is watch what I'm doing with my hands and the rod and reel. That's the key. The first couple fish I catch, I was using a rod that was set up for topwater fishing, and it had monofilament line on it, 12-pound test mono, so it had a lot of stretch. And that's not the best way to fish this. This is a much better way. The rod is very similar. It's another top water rod. I like these twitching rods because they're set up right where you can still get a good hook set because of the way the tip is set up. But then the rod, this one's 6.5 feet, so I can cast accurately under trees, and I can cast accurately in the holes or in the little canals in the grass, that kind of thing. Get it where I want it to, and then get those fish to the boat. So it's a good setup. I'm using 20-pound braid on here, and in this case I have 15-pound Invisex fluorocarbon line as my line, just to get it down there a little bit in case I want to go a little deeper. I can still fish it super shallow by just fishing it really slow. If you fish this slow enough, you can actually keep it up on the surface. But yet, if you fish it faster, you can get down good 3, 4, 5 feet. depending on the diameter of the line. So it's a pretty versatile bait in that you can get it to a pretty good area of the water column, and it just comes through those weeds really nicely. You'd be surprised what you can throw this into and around and still just kind of get it through and weave it through those weeds. Most of the time I was fishing it slow, but watch what I'm doing. You'll see I'm fishing it slow, but stop and go. Stop and go. I'm hitting weed and stopping. And every now and then you'll see, especially in the first couple bites, I pop it through those weeds because I hung it up. And when you pop it out, oftentimes it rips free, and when you start to move it, they eat it right then. So that popping out of the weeds is another good way to fish the bait. Watch for that in the video as well.
Go for the square bill. It's smaller than the one I got. What?
milfoil crankbait. I mentioned I love catching them on a square bill. Smaller, folks. We're going in the wrong direction here. It's not the right direction. Square bill puncher. Well, we're going back in the right direction again. Now he's been caught before. Good 3.25.
Well, I hope you liked that video. The square bill crankbait is always a bait that I have tied on and ready to go. Spring, summer, and fall. And it should be in your arsenal as well. If you enjoyed that video, give me the thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you want to see another interesting way, a different way to fish a square bill, but very effective, take a look at this video right here. Until next time, hope to see you on the water. Be safe out there. And as always, may God bless your fishing endeavors.